In these papers, we have mainly concentrated on the Orion Empire and the Sirian Alliance, when in fact there is a multitude of star beings and star races out there in the galaxy and beyond. And more profoundly, even here around Earth and on the planet, and in its atmosphere as well. People are seeing UFOs in the skies which seem to be drawn in and out of our reality, and we see orbs and odd shapes no one can explain. Therefore, the easiest explanation is that they are spaceships from other dimensions, visiting us for one reason or another. There are a lot of things we see in the sky that could have a lot of different origins. One thing we haven't discussed in these papers so far in that regard is that many of these odd shapes and forms we confuse with UFOs are atmosphere dwellers. I.e., just like our home is on the ground, their home is in the atmosphere. But where do they come from? I would say that the RA material perhaps has the best answer to this question. They say that when Maldek was destroyed, Maldek is another name for Old Terra of Tiamat, names I used in my papers. Millions of souls got stuck in the ether. The destruction, which was caused by the war between the Aryans and the Sirians, and which split old Earth in half, shocked the affected souls so badly that they couldn't move on from there. Eventually, the Council of Saturn, which I interpret as the Sirian Council, had to intervene and help these souls back on track. Many of them were their own people. They ended up landing in spiritual form in our atmosphere here on Earth, millions of years after the catastrophe, and this is now their home. They are still discarnate, but are now and then playing tricks on us, showing themselves off to make us curious, and perhaps they have other reasons as well. So far, none of them has showed any hostility towards mankind or any other living creatures on Earth. It is my understanding that they are separate from the Sirian Alliance these days and have their own civilization. The reason that I call this section the Omega is not because it's the end of humanity or the end of the universe. It's just the end of a major cycle and the end of an old species and the birth of a new, upgraded one. So, this is not the end, it's the beginning. And it's not any beginning, it's a breakthrough, because mankind is breaking the time loop and the stars are waiting. The universe is still young and has a lot to experience before she meets her goal and goes back to become pure goddess energy, and a new universe will emerge from the old. At that time, with new goals and new opportunities to learn from. But mankind has a bigger role in the development of this particular universe than they think. Mankind can help the universe tremendously to reach her goal by being who they are, or on the flip side, they can also bring the universe down together with those who are keeping them in chains. If they are not careful, if the universe fails, so does all beings who dwell in it, and all energy will be depleted. It is my wish that mankind as a whole, sooner or later, break loose from their imprisonment and can inspire the Sirians to do the same. Only then can this universe succeed. The fact that some Sirians have and are breaking out is after all a good sign, even if there are not that many yet. It's the fact that they can that is important, and that creates some hope after all. And now, having all this said, I have done my absolute best to educate both myself and others about the situation we are in, and what led up to it. I did so by going back in time, close to the beginning of the universe, and all the way up to the present, and even into the future. Because it's my conviction that to understand the present we must understand our past, or we won't know where we're going. So these papers, the first level of learning and the second level of learning, have presented my view on the reality we live in and beyond. I need to emphasize once again that this is my view, backed up by references which partly made me come to these conclusions. The rest has either been provided by anonymous sources or been data streamed by myself by placing myself in an environment as free from interruptions as possible and tuned into higher vibrations, where a higher aspect of myself has provided me with data and information I have been able to make sense of. All this in conjunction has formed the context in these papers and made it possible for me to sort out the data and made it coherent, hopefully. However, I urge the reader to make up your own mind and don't take everything I have been saying face value before first have investigated it further. Or listen to your heart and your belly to tell you if it rings true or not. If my material still passes the test after that, please feel free to take it to heart. If it doesn't, discard what you feel is not fitting into your view or reality and beyond, and keep what you think will be helpful. The Omega is not the end, but the beginning of something new. Or, that's how it's supposed to be. Ponder long and hard over your decision, and I am talking to all mankind now. Before you decide to join this or that, or become sovereign and be your own master, think ahead. Think about the consequences, not in this lifetime or the next, but millions and billions of years ahead as well. Your decision, the decision of one single being, may, in the scheme of things, be more important than you think. I'll see you again in the third level of learning. It has been a true pleasure, and I love you all.